Okay. Hey guys, it's T here, and thanks for visiting my channel today. So today's video is going to be about a really bad encounter that I had off of Tinder. So for those of you who don't know, Tinder is an online dating site, hookup site, and I kind of decided to, you know, try it because a lot of my friends do have it, so it's not that I was trying it to find somebody because I really didn't care, but it just so happened that I was on there and I was talking to somebody who I thought was cool. So just to start off, don't take any guy's numbers or don't blah 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 blah. My best advice to you is to be just completely honest with yourself and know that Tinder is not a place for you to find somebody who you plan to be in a relationship with. Me, not being so smart, I decided to be in a relationship with somebody. Sorry, Mom. So basically, I was talking to this guy, and, you know, when we first started talking, you know, he tells me one thing. He tells me that his name is, I'll use fake names here because if anybody's watching, then this is not good. But, so basically, he told me that his name was Joe. Mind you, that he looked a little bit like, oh shit. Mind you, that he looks a little bit like Moji. So, I was believing it for some odd reason. I believed everything that he said to me. You know, we hung out, he was a cool guy. And then, you know, let's fast forward. Everything gets a little bit weird. So, I feel uncomfortable. And when I start to feel uncomfortable, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's time to call things quits. So I'm like, I don't really want to do this anymore. Turns out his name wasn't his name. And he was lying to me about half the things that had happened. So I didn't find out through him, I found out through a friend of his. But this friend of his wasn't really like a good friend. I believed everything and I listened to everything that both of them had said. You know, I was like, oh, everything is easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know. It was absolutely horrible. Basically, his name was, let's just go with, his name was something Somalian. And so, yeah, it was just really messy. And then he told me that he was like 22. And I was like, okay. His friend told me he was 26. It was great. And then, what else happened? So I felt uncomfortable and I ended everything and I was like, you know what, I need to like go away, like whatever, we can be friends, because I didn't want it to be like, I didn't know him that well for him to lie to me so much about everything. So I didn't know what he was capable of at the point. So I was like, you know what, let's just like be friends. But I really wanted nothing to do with him. Like I was like, leave me alone. Like I want nothing. I don't even want to see you. So basically, I didn't know this until later, but one of my friends that I had from a place that I worked at told me that, you know, oh, there's this guy who said he was looking for you and wondered if you finished work. And I was like, excuse me? And then I didn't know about this until like way later. And then I got another job, but it was like a really shifty job. It was a job that they paid me under the table, number one. So every single time that I would get paid, he would open the cash register and give me cash. And I got paid less than minimum wage. So here minimum wage is $11.40 and I was getting paid $7 an hour. $7 an hour. And this is a pizza shop, so it's very labor intensive. You know, all due respect though, he was a great guy, but that pizza place was a little shifty. So the pizza place only has 2 people working at a time. So me and then the delivery guy. So my ex thought it would be a great idea to come when I didn't invite him, number one. I didn't even tell him where I worked. I don't remember this. He decided that it'd be okay to show up when the pizza guy left. So when I was by myself, he came in and was like, oh, hello. I just decided to say hello. I was like, no one invited you here. Yeah, so that was the second time where he made me feel very uncomfortable. And then there was another time where I agreed to meet up with him so that I can get him to say everything that he wanted to so that he could leave me alone and then I wouldn't have to see him again. But that did not work out. Note to self, don't get anybody's car if you don't want to be with them. He decides to write me this letter and sends me these emails showing me pictures of these letters that he wants to show me. And I was like, oh no, like I don't really want to see you though. And like, this was like way later. I was like, I don't want to see you. I think it's best if you just, you know, kind of move on with your life without me in it. And then, so he calls me at 7 a.m. and he's like, oh, I'm in your area and I want to give you this letter just so that, you know, we can be on the same terms. So I agree. I get in the car with him, he picks me up, and then he starts driving. So basically, he's driving, and where I go to school is really not that far from his house, so that's why he knows like what school I go to. So we're driving, and then he makes a turn that I've never like gone down before. So it's a new street, never seen it before. It was like, what's going on? This is not my school. He makes this turn, he's like, oh shit, I made the wrong turn. So are you gonna turn around? And then after he makes this wrong turn, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go pick up my brother, like don't say anything. I'm like, all right. So I put my headphones in because, mind you, I have class and I didn't really want to be there in the first place. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna put my headphones in. And then, you know, after he drops his brother off, because my school is literally like 10 minutes from his house, I was like, you just drop me to school right after. So he picks up his brother from some random factory, and then he drops off his brother at some random gas station, and then is like, oh, did you eat? Are you hungry? Did you want to get some breakfast together? I was like,
boy, if you don't get...
No, I don't want to get breakfast. In fact, I'm late for a class that you said you would drop me to about half an hour ago. So no, I don't want to get breakfast with you. Then he's like, I don't want to be rushed. I didn't even want to do this in the first place. So yes, I am a little bit stupid for doing that, but no, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So after he asked me if I want breakfast, I start basically like cussing him out, and I'm like, you need to drop me to school. Like, this is not what I signed up for. I asked you to drop me to school after you gave me this letter. You never gave me the letter. And as soon as I stepped in the car, I was like, you need to give me the letter so that you can just drop me off to school. So it wasn't like I didn't tell him, like, this is what I came here for, and that's it. No, I made it very clear that that's what I came here for. No one's gonna call me at 7 a.m. to not do what they're saying. After he starts driving, I'm like, where are you going? And he's like, don't worry about it, man. I start to feel very uncomfortable. Thank God that I had my phone in my hands at the time, because otherwise I really didn't know what I was gonna do. So I texted my friends, I'm like, guys, like, I think something's wrong here. Like, I don't know where I'm going. My ex is crazy. He's trying to take me somewhere. So he takes me to some random ass park that I've never been to before. And I'm not familiar with anything. And then he's like, okay, here's the letter. So he reads me the letter. And then, or I read the letter, in fact, and then it's basically saying all the same stuff that he said to me in person. So the letter was very pointless. I was very disappointed, and I didn't know what to do. So I was like, okay, like, I read it, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And he's like, so how's life? Trying to make small talk. And I'm like, I don't want to make small talk with you. I'm ready to go. So, you know, like, he kept talking and stuff like that, and then I kind of just said a bunch of stuff just to make him angry. So I was like, oh, he was like, oh, so how's life? Who are you talking to now? And I'm like, oh, like, I'm talking to someone else. And then he's like, are you kidding me? This guy literally slams the door so bad that I thought it was gonna break. The way that it shook, like, everything was like that Mr. Krabs meme, like. So everything just shook, and I wasn't really, like, it was scary. So at this point, like, me sitting in his car, I have no clue what's next. Like, I don't know what to expect. My mind is already like, I'm shook. So I don't know. And then, so yeah, I explained to him, I'm like, you know, like, I've moved on, I'm talking to somebody else, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like, you're crazy. I told him that I went on Tinder, and he's like, we promised each other we would never go back on it. I'm like, well, we're not together anymore, so I don't know what you want from me. I was like, you don't claim me. And then he wanted to take my phone from me, which was my only source of, like, protection at this point, and I was like, no. So he's like, why not? Do you have something to hide? And I'm like, I don't have anything to hide, sir, but I just would rather if you didn't take my phone. And then he's like, spazzing about it. But at the end, I was like, you're not my man, you're not my dad.
What?
You're not my dad!
And you don't pay my phone bill, so therefore you do not have access to my phone. But yeah, it didn't end that great, and this is what he said was a resolution to everything. He was like, T, I'm really sad that, you know, we're not together anymore. You're a really great person, and I was like, I'm really sorry, but that's not gonna happen. Like, obviously I didn't say it that calmly, but, you know, I said it that way. He was like, you know, like, I just wanna make love to you. I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, that's the only way we can make everything better. I was like, no, thank you. I am not doing that with you, sir. I refuse to be that person for you. You can find somebody else to do that. If I'm on Tinder, homie, then you can be on it too. So, you know what? It's not happening. And I told him, I was like, yeah, sure, we can. Just because I wanted him to, like, leave me alone. This guy calls me a week later and is like, hey, are you ready?
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect.
No, matter of fact, I'm not. Delete my number, delete my name. Forget about me. Act as if I don't exist because I want nothing to do with you. You should have got that when I left the car. But moral of the story is, don't trust anybody you meet on Tinder. And don't get in anybody's car if you don't want to talk to them.
So we gonna pull up in some fast whips. Pretty packed, now I'm lifted.